Okay, so now we're going to have a track deconstruction with Symbiz, who kindly joined us. So, guys, like, what track are we going to deconstruct? Let's just tell us a bit about it.
The track is called Stereotypes, and basically, short introduction, maybe what Symbiz is about is that we did a lot of traveling through music and always like to do a lot of field recording and also working with local artists. So rather than just sampling stuff online, it's very important to us to meet up with the locals and kind of have this real connection. And yeah, also like being Asian Germans traveling the world playing Caribbean style music, is kind of the question arises of authenticity and cultural appropriation, all that. But I think we kind of might represent this German generation of where everything gets to the level of weirdness where it doesn't really matter anymore. And yeah, the track is called Stereotypes because that's what we deal with, and it's kind of our mission to prove people wrong. So let's go.
It's not. Do we need it to come up on the big screen, right? Or no, we're not. We're just going to listen to it.
We're just going to play the mastered version now, and later we open up the project for you guys to see how it was done. So this is the mastered version. It's kind of quiet. Low part now.
Stereotypes, I feel that way, I feel that way, I feel that way, I feel that way, I feel that way.
I guess you get the idea of what the song is about, no? Okay.
Oh, so good.
So we're going to talk a little bit about how some of the sounds are made, and I think the main theme might be layering sounds, because that's a nice way to kind of take the field recording and like natural sounds and give them the punch and impact of electronic sounds. So that's what we made. Maybe play the first part.
Okay, so it starts like this.
So yeah, this is kind of this snare drum pattern. Can you just play the snare drum alone?
Just the snare drum.
That's just a snare drum. Maybe show the contact player.
It's like for this, we just use the Abbey Road set, which is called something different because I use it for the intro set and not to lose the preset. Basically, it's just a snare which has very little changes actually, because normally we would maybe take down the holds to take the decay away to make it sound more dry, but in this case, made a lot of sense since it's standing by itself to give it a room a lot. So yeah, it is panned all the way to the most wide as we could to make it sound broad.
And then we layered that one with a second, more tonal sound. Just play it by itself.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, 808 tom. And it has a very specific tune. So combined together, it's.
You have one question.
Yeah, I have one question. Have you just like played around and then you like accidentally hit the right melody with the bass tones? How did you match them? Because it almost sounds like the high bass tones are matched to the snare drum.
We do actually always tune all the drum sounds because it gives you more. You can go higher in the volume, in the perceived volume, if everything matches frequency-wise. So
I think with layering, the nice thing is rather than everything pitching around, we would have problems with the overtones sort of getting into other areas, and the EQing would be much more complicated because this way overtones always stay at the same range and we can EQ them very nice and crisp. And then everything that makes up the melody is sort of below that. So, I mean, in natural sounds, overtones are not always harmonic. Can also be kind of disharmonic, like in this case, and it still sounds, I mean, it makes sense still. So, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions about this?
Moving on.
I want to know what the field recording is that you sampled in it.
Okay, that's the next part, actually.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
And maybe just play it. It's the crescendo part, like the part that builds up towards the drop. And it has this nice chirping sound.
Well, we will just play the right sound. That's.
Yeah, it's actually a tropical bird that he recorded in Caracas.
It all started with this sad bird in a cage in my mother-in-law's house. It sounded like this. And you get the idea, no? And we thought it would be kind of a nice replacement for a synthesizer because it's an organic. I mean, it's an animal, so it sounds organic. And what we did was we just loaded also this whole sample into a battery. And then we set it up to have a pitch bend. Where is it? Here. You can Do you see this there? Okay. Yeah. You can set the modulators and choose like a different, whatever modulators you want to use. In this case, we use the pitch bend, and you route it to tune because you want to change the tune of it. And then you have to pull up this thing, this fader all the way up, which means it's going to pitch bend an octave up and an octave down. And then all this is this sample played rhythmically, and it has an automated pitch bend.
So is that all you did to it?
That's the one part, just play it maybe?
This is mainly what we did to it, and it sounds alone, it sounds like this.
It's a little bit hissy, and it's missing some of the body that you want to have for it to sort of be also in the mix. So we layered it with our with another version of the bird.
We made another version just using a very simple massive setup where we just took in this acid oscillator here, and basically if we've done the same thing if you go to the where is it? Here, into the oscillator tab here, you can tell it to pitch up and down for 12 semitones an octave, and we just used basically the same MIDI file with the same pitch bend automation, and this one is added. Can we have more volume in general? Because volume is a good thing to have. So you get the idea. It adds more. It has a sound quality that's kind of similar to the bird, but it's more electronic and lower, and so together it will sound like this. More like a frog, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe this is a good time to bring up a question as well from one of the people watching on the live stream. As we mentioned earlier, if you want to ask any questions and you're watching online, just type them into the chat room. Gabriel is asking, how do you tune your drums in battery?
How do you tune drums in battery?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is kind of leading away from... Maybe we finish this and then we go back quickly to show the tuning of the battery.
Easiest, yeah.
Or should we just jump? We just jump there, whatever. If you go back to, let's say, to the this track that has the 808 in it, you can just fine-tune it here, every note that you have inside. And what we normally do, we just play the track and we will find whatever is a good pitch, and you can just do it by dragging the mouse down, up and down, or you can press shift to have it in smaller increments, because this one is 59 cents pitched up, so I cannot hold it at the same time. You see, it does like smaller increments, or I can do semitones, or you can just write it. No, 59 it was, no?
Maybe one insight is that it makes sense sometimes to EQ the sound first and then kind of pitch it, because EQing it might set the resonance to a certain area. Puts the emphasis on the resonance of a sound, because like especially in percussion sounds, there's more than just one tone, so to say. But if you narrow it down a little bit by EQing, you can sort of find the area you want to pitch, and then after that you can pretty much play it like any other sound.
Okay. What I think is something that we do a lot, especially if in this case, because it's essentially a bass. If it's bassy, you can't hear it, you just pitch it up an octave, and it's much easier to hear certain ranges. In certain frequencies, it's hard to hear pitch clearly, and others is more easy. So, Gabriel, I hope that answers your question.
I'm sure.
So we continue with this one?
Yeah.
You want to say something? This is the U sound.
What else? And then we layered it with some more organic sounds. just using the same technique, pretty much copying the automation data and as well as the MIDI notes, and then you can just stack the sounds until you're happy with it.
Basically, this one is the same one that is doing the main sound in the drop. This one, and which is, if you want to hear the original of it, wait, it is a Berber yell, like from a Berber lady. It's like a recording that not we didn't do, but it sounds like this. And then in the end, yeah. So we just use this because it had already been used. We just load it inside here again. If we can actually play it with the keyboard, where are we?
And it's always nice if you build up towards the drop to kind of already introduce the sound that you're going to use as the main synth, so to say, to already give it some presence in a part before, maybe in an introduction or build-up part. So you are somehow surprised but not totally thrown off by the main sound.
So basically we have these three sounds now combined. Still sounds like a frog.
Yeah.
And basically, in the end, it's just another massive layered on top of that, which sounds by itself like this. And it's a little bit more grainy and lower pitched. And we could have actually done, as you can see, here is only the second oscillator on. We could have done that in one massive, but then this one, the massive sound we showed before, has a dimension expander to make it broader, and we kind of wanted something, we kind of needed something that filled the gap in the middle, and because it is
and also EQing wise, especially when you layer up sounds, it's kind of important to look at where every layer sits. So we, like in this case, the bird sits on top, and then below that we have the woman, and then below that there's the massive, and then even below that there's the other massive. So I think one trick, so to say, is to separate the sounds that you play at the same time throughout the frequency band, so it won't sound too messy. And this kind of plays into what you said before about sidechaining. So I always like to organize the mixes in the horizontal, so to say, like what is playing at the same time, but also in the what's the other? Vertical. In the vertical. So the sounds that are playing at the same time, I kind of avoid that they sit in the same place in the frequency band. So that makes it, even though there's 4 sounds playing at the same time, it sounds like one innocent sound, but it's pretty messy.
Yeah. Thanks so much to Symbiz.